Hello and welcome to the episode 19 of this podcast. You are listening to Jeffer and this is Life Talks, a talk about reflections, realizations, and life lessons. And for this episode, I will be talking about the 5 ways as to how we can actually deal with pain. But before that, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Jeffer Diag, and please follow my Facebook page. It is also Jeffer Diag, and please follow my podcast on Spotify. You can search for Life Talks or Life Detour, and then you can have access to my podcast and of course to its episode. Let us help this podcast grow so that we can inspire a bigger number of people. Pain is inevitable. There really are times when we encounter situations that cause us to feel pain. It seems like it is a normal part of life, and to see it that way means to be in pain is normal. It is expected to be encountered, it is expected to be experienced. And pain is not just actually about emotional aspect. Although it is more of like that because it is an emotion, but it can also be manifested to our physical aspect. When we cry too much because of pain, it can be seen through our eyes and outside features. And when we don't have the appetite to eat regularly because of the pain, we start to look smaller. So pain can also be seen in the physical aspect. It can also affect us mentally. When the pain is too difficult to handle, it really does something to our mental health. And your pain is not only about you actually. You may be the one who suffer more, but your environment is also affected. Your family worries, you start to ignore things and start to lose interest to some things. So it actually extends to your environment, and there is no way to get rid of the pain. However, there are ways as to how we can deal with this in a way that is beneficial to us. Because I feel like pain is not just for us to feel, it is also for us to learn from and improve ourselves, to reflect upon and learn lessons. So, the first way to deal with pain is to recognize that you are in pain. The problem with other people is that they deny the pain even if they are feeling it. That is why it is hard for them to talk about it and to deal with it because they think that they don't have something to deal with even if there actually is. Avoidance does not help you address the pain, it only prolongs its effect. The more you deny it, the longer it will stay. And it will stay inside you unaddressed. So the second way is to know where it is coming from and understand why. It is very important to have clarity in terms of where our emotions are coming from. So when you are in pain, try to trace its history. It may come from the conflict with your friends, family problems, or romantic relationship. Being able to identify it will help you know how to react to some other things. Sometimes, when we don't know where our pain comes from, we tend to feel it even if we are dealing with other situations. As a result, we respond to it according to the pain even when that situation requires another way of response. And also, understand why you feel the pain. This will help you understand the situation where the pain occurred. The pain may be because of you or because of other person. So if you do this, you will know how to respond to that situation. From there, you can start initiating actions and plans in order to solve if there is conflict. Knowing the whys of pain is where we can start understanding it. The third is to accept the pain. The truth sometimes is that we avoid to accept painful things because we don't want to get hurt, but that is actually the reason why we experience more pain because of our refusal. So embrace the pain, but there will always be pain after you accept it. It only means that you are aware of what you are feeling and you are aware of the situation that you are in. The fourth is to learn from it. I do believe that pain, more than just making us feel it, is also making us learn from it. Every pain has lessons to learn from. If we understand the situation of where the pain is coming from, you can see for sure what went wrong and what could have been avoided. And these things that you missed to see during that actual situation will serve as your lesson as you deal with the pain. These lessons have to be applied in the future so that no same problem or conflict will occur and no same pain will be felt. The fifth and the last is you move on from it, but always bring the lesson. After understanding the cause of your pain and the lessons you learn from it, it's time to slowly heal yourself. Do not stay in that position where you always feel sad when you remember what happened or when you get reminded by certain signals that relate to that pain. Teach yourself to look at that experience not on its negative side, but more of like what you did learn from it and how you can use that experience in the future. Pain is always hard to deal. You will cry, you will be upset. Sometimes you will also feel anger and eventually it will turn to grief. But as what they say, you will learn more from pain and sadness than in happiness. So when you are in pain, do not miss the chance to learn its lessons and use it to improve and better yourself. When you are in pain, do not think that the world is against you. Sometimes life uses pain to teach us, and the lessons that we learn the hard way or the painful way is the most rewarding, and it makes that experience significant. So that is all I have for this episode, and I hope that you learned something from this one. And if you do, you can actually share this podcast to your friends, to your social media feeds, so that we can inspire a bigger number of people. Again, this is Jeffrey Dayag, and thank you for being with me.